David Riddell explained to me that there was a businessman from Sarawak who'd come to Perth and was keen to talk to us about whether or not we'd be interested in discussing with the government, with the Malaysian government, a campus on Sarawak itself. Dr. George Chan was the person who became primarily responsible at the Sarawak end for maintaining relationships with Curtin and for ensuring that they could carry through the instructions that we'd provided along the way. 25 years celebration is a wonderful thing. I think it's the culmination of a great deal of work. You can look at this and you can say, you know, everything that we thought about this has come good, really, in any way you look at it. We've got good courses, good people. We've kept going. We've got a bigger population.
Our professor, the Vice Chancellor, then to me said, this I quote in direct speech, I am usually a very careful person. I do not know why today I am different. I do not consider too long. Now, I say, yes, we go ahead with the project in Miri. Subject to our professor go over there to have the investigation.
But in the meantime, early in the year, I hadn't heard this story before until I came back here, that a land developer from Miri by the name of Lassie Y had already approached the university and the Vice-Chancellor Lance Toomey then to establish a campus on land he owned. He was a big real estate developer and property developer, and he was prepared to provide the land and facilities because he had a lifelong passion in education. And if you read his biography, you can see where he built schools, and he was interested in young people who were dropouts from schools who were given a second chance at an education. Well, the university and that Professor Toomey had decided that they would follow through with this initiative.
In May in 1998, that the visit from Mr. Lau occurred, and he visited the Vice-Chancellor, and then at the time I was working for the Executive Director Resources, Peter Walton, and he asked me in, because I was basically his project officer, to start to look into this. So we started doing some investigation into the idea for a Miri campus. Was very much the brainchild of the people in Miri who wanted to set up a campus, and they wanted Curtin's involvement in it.
In that particular lunch session, he told us that he has visited Curtin Perth and trying to persuade them to come over to Miri to set up a training program. But then after we discussed all the issue, we thought that it would be better to have a full-range university instead of a training program. Because at that time we were also talking about Miri becoming a city in the year of 2005.
When Dr. Lau Chiu Wai came back, and as usual we have our lunch, and he mentioned about he had gone down to approach Pro Vice Chancellor in 13. That is Professor Lance Toomey. Yeah, that was then. He was Professor Lance Toomey, Vice Chancellor for the year 1997 to 2006. So setting up Curtin was under him. So according to Dr. Lau Siu Wai, he went to approach and managed to talk to him and say, we welcome Curtin to set up in Miri.
And I immediately introduced Professor to me to the then Chief Minister of Sarawak, Tun Pihin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud. The two got along very well, and they both agreed that it was a good thing to have Curtin University having a branch campus in Miri, and that was actually how it all began.
25 years ago, I was then the State Attorney General. The government, through the then Chief Minister of Sarawak, Pihin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud, had agreed that we had the first foreign university to be established in a campus in Miri, Sarawak. I was directed by him to create a legal framework for this collaboration between Sarawak and Curtin University of Technology in Perth to set up a campus in Miri. I was involved then in the setting up of the company that would eventually sign the collaboration agreement between Curtin, Perth, and the company later known as Curtin Malaysia Sdn Bhd. I was also involved in getting the land approved for the use of the Curtin Miri campus. That was my initial involvement. Of course, later on, I was asked to sit on the board of Curtin University, Malaysia Sdn Bhd, as well as Curtin University Council Miri.
At that time, each of us in the implementation committee were assigned different roles. For me, being an accountant, I was asked to help to look at possibly a budget of finances needed initially to get it going as a start. So I worked very closely with Professor Kevin McKenna at that time, who came from Perth to discuss about the finance and all these things.
And the implementation committee was tasked to resolve many issues pertaining to the finalizations of the universities. Issues like collaboration, discussion with Curtin Perth, licensing issues with Kuala Lumpur, temporary campus, setting up facility and infrastructures, recruiting lecturers, staff, and students.
So my role in the implementation committee was to look after the renovation works, not in this main campus, but in the temporary campus at the Riam Secondary School.
My part later on was more on this, the procurement of IT equipment, computers and desktop computers and laptop computers. So I managed to procure these Dell computers, I think 127 units or something, with a delivery in 7 days. So happily, Dell fulfilled their obligation, so to speak, and it was delivered within the time frame, and it arrived on the Chinese New Year Eve in 1999.